I've always wanted to live in co-housing. Co-housing is an intentional community where people choose to live together in a neighborhood, but you all have your own self-contained unit, condo to live in with kitchen and bathroom and everything, but you have some shared space. You have a common house where you might eat dinner together. You have shared amenities. And I'd always wanted to live in co-housing, but my husband had not. And about 8 years ago, I got divorced. And when I got divorced, I started to look for co-housing places to live. And there are several in Seattle, but they were all full because people build co-housing and then they move in and they never move out. So my therapist said, build it yourself. And I thought, that's crazy talk. I don't know anything about anything. But I went to the National Co-Housing Conference in Portland, Oregon, about 5 years ago with two goals: meet other Seattle wannabe co-housers and learn how to do it. I came back and met up with a really eager group of people, and we formed a group called SUCH, Seattle Urban Co-Housing. And we spent a year trying hard to get a co-housing community together. But we had so many people around the table, all with different views of where they wanted to live and how many units and how expensive and how to buy land, that it didn't really get anywhere. So I left that group and it kind of folded. And a year later, my daughter moved back from Los Angeles to Seattle and said, Mom, when are we going to build co-housing? And this was the first I had heard of my daughter wanting to live in co-housing with me. So I thought, okay, I got to do this. So I did it a different way, and I decided to fund it myself and make all the development decisions myself. I had a core of about 4 families interested at the beginning, and so I just took their views in mind and where they wanted to live and what their ideas were. And I pulled from such a dear friend, Emma, who became my project manager. And we started 3 years ago. And we met up with several developers and architects and chose a firm called Hybrid. They are on Capitol Hill, a design build firm. And it's interesting. We had our kickoff meeting with them where we talked about zoning and what kind of land we might buy, and my vision for the project. And then when they sent me a wrap-up of that meeting a day later, they said, hey, by the way, we found these 2 little houses next door to each other near Northgate, if you want to take a look. And my daughter and I hopped in the car and immediately drove up here. There were 2 little 1940s Ramblers, each on 1/4 of an acre. And we were told by our developer consultant that we could turn those 2 lots into 3. And on each of the 3 lots, because Seattle is all about density, we could put a single family residence and 2 ADUs. So accessory dwelling units. Normally that would be a big house, and the accessory dwelling unit might be a basement apartment or an apartment over the garage. But we just put 3 side-by-side condos on each lot. One of them happens to be bigger, and that's the one designated the single-family residence. And the other 2 are designated as the accessory dwelling units. All that means is they have to be under 1,000 square feet. But there's no difference in them. So on this half-acre lot, I was able to have 3 city lots, put 3 buildings on each. And so now we have a small co-housing community of 9 condos. They all open front door out onto the courtyard. And we have a small common house in the corner where we'll have dinner together twice a week, and we can get together for any kind of events we want. And we'll have a shared hot tub and a fire pit and fountains and paths, and we can share rides to the airport and share all kinds of things while we live here. Our designers at Hybrid were terrific. We've met with them every 2 weeks for about 3 years. They really got the idea of what we wanted. We really valued the courtyard in the middle, which has about a dozen 80-foot cedar and Doug fir trees. We really value nature and native plantings. And so when it came time to design the actual buildings, they suggested cedar shake for the siding and metal roof, because a metal roof is the most efficient and long-lasting. And so we chose cedar shake. And then we had the option of staining it, oiling it. We thought of making the 3 buildings different shades, but when it came down to it, everybody in the community just loved the look of the cedar shake. So we decided not to oil it, not to stain it, just to let it weather as it will. It'll be all blotchy. It'll be different on the north face and the east face. It'll be different where it got wet, but it's very beautiful with, and then we chose black roof, which was less expensive, and made all the accents black. So we ended up with a really cool community. Right here to my left, this is the first building we built, and this is on the original lot that one of the houses was on. Behind me is the second building, and we tucked a 3rd building in the back on the 3rd lot that we created a new building lot for City of Seattle. And in each building, we could have one large condo. So each building has one that's larger, about 1,400 square feet, usually 3 or 4 bedrooms. And then the other 2 are smaller, 2-bedroom units. Most of them have an aging in place ground floor bedroom, but not all of them. So we attempted to make the floor plans all the same, and the kitchen, living, dining space of each unit is pretty much the same. But because of the different orientations of the buildings and where the dormers landed, they're all a little bit different. And I can show you that. Hybrid provided a development consultant for me, which was super helpful because I became the developer of this project, but I didn't know anything about it. And one of the first things we ran into is groundwater management. North of 115th Street, there are no stormwater drains. There's no place for the water to go, so every development has to provide a place for all your own rainwater to go. So everywhere on our property that isn't a tree or a building is a gravel pit like this one, a giant hole dug in the ground that will be filled with gravel, covered with dirt, and landscaped. And they're everywhere, and you can't really tell, but that will handle all the rainwater that comes onto our property so it won't spill into the street. And then every new development has to do a street improvement plan. Even though Meridian Avenue doesn't have sidewalks this far north, we have to build sidewalks. So next to the travel lane on Meridian will be a parking lane, and then a planter strip with a bunch of street trees we put in, and then a sidewalk, and then 20 feet of landscaping between Meridian Avenue North and our buildings. And our landscape architect has planned what she calls meadow for the landscaping on this side. It will be lots of big rocks, lots of grasses, lots of perennial plants with beautiful foliage 12 months a year, and inviting sort of low-profile entrance to the community as you walk in here between the buildings. So a lot of the new construction in Seattle is built on speculation. The architects design it, the builders build it, they don't know who's going to buy it. And so there isn't much skin in the game. They are just building. They try to build cost effectively and good buildings, but this is super different. For 3 years, I have met every 2 weeks with Hybrid, with the real estate agent, with the developer consultant, with the architect, and now with the general contractor who's building it. And so we've known each other for 3 years. They know me, they know all the people that are going to live here, they know who lives in each unit, they know who picked what kind of bedrooms and decor. So there's a lot of investment, and they want to make sure it's right. So we think we're going to get a better product because they're partners, and I'm a partner in it, and we're working together for 3 years. So here we are in one of the 2-bedroom units. This is the only small unit that hasn't yet been sold. And as we come in the front door, everyone has a 4-foot covered front porch. And as you see right now, the front door is white. But a friend of mine had suggested, why don't you all have different colored front doors? And all the people in the community loved that idea. So right now, many of them are arriving and looking at all of the colors to choose from so they can choose what shade of blue or red or green they would like for their front doors. This is the living room I'm standing in with large windows, picture window, and an operable window for air. Everybody's living room has some area where it goes all the way up to the high roof and a skylight. So I call this a cathedral ceiling, and everybody has this somewhere in their unit. After I got to know the architects pretty well, they knew I really valued light, windows, nature. So since we're tucked in here among about a dozen 80-foot Doug fir and cedar trees, it made sense to have lots of light coming in. All 9 units have the same basic kitchen, living, dining area that I'm in right now. This is the living room, then they'll have a dining room table in the middle, and then the kitchen is towards the back. We have another 4-foot covered porch in the back. The sink, dishwasher, trash all goes against the back window, and then stove and oven along the side, a fridge, and a pantry. So everyone's kitchen is on the back end of their unit. If they want to come out and have coffee on their front porch and see all the people, they can. If they want to go sit on the back porch in their bathrobe and be alone, they can. On the main floors, we have polished concrete floors in all the units. And that's kind of cool looking, but it's also the most long-lived floor. It needs no maintenance. It's very tough. Everyone's upstairs has bamboo, like what I'm sitting on here. And bamboo doesn't need any special care at all. It is a somewhat soft wood. It's not as hard as oak, so over 20 years, it'll probably get a little dented and dinged, but it's very beautiful. And we have it on the stairs and everything upstairs, and it won't take any special care. One really fun thing about the cathedral ceilings in the living room is that many of the units have this little nook where you can peek down into the downstairs, and you get a lot of light from that skylight. This is the upstairs, and this is a full bath in our small unit. It has a tub and a shower. It has beautiful tiles, and it has a really cool feature of a window in the shower. And I love how that looks. I love how that brings in a lot of natural light, but it doesn't compromise your privacy because it's 2 stories up over the street. One other special little feature about the showers is everybody has a little nook like this where you can put your soap or your shampoo, and it's really pretty, and it's just a special feature that makes the bathroom fun. The other thing is everybody's second floor bathroom goes all the way up to the ceiling, so everyone can have a pendant light that hangs down in front of the vanity, and that feels sort of elegant. Each person chose if they wanted a 3/4 bath upstairs, meaning just a shower and a toilet and a sink, or a full bath, a tub and a shower. And in these units that no one had bought, we put the full bathroom, so whoever buys them, they will have all the options. But some of the upstairs bathrooms you'll see just have a shower and not a tub. This is the second bedroom upstairs here. We have lots of windows that look out into the neighbor's yard. As you can see, the windows are huge. I love natural light. Part of the reason we picked hybrid architecture is that in their portfolio of things they've designed, they have tons of big windows and skylights. So I knew that would work for us. And they made the windows as big as they could make them in all of our units. We will go shopping for window blinds before we move in so that we can have the privacy we need. But it's one of the more spectacular features of the units. Every unit has 2 entrances. We all have a front porch that faces the courtyard, a 4-foot deep covered porch where you could put chairs and a table or a grill or a hammock. And when you're feeling sociable, you can go in and out your front door. But every unit also has a back porch, also 4 feet deep, also covered, same size, so that if it's the morning and you're in your bathrobe and you just want to have your coffee all by yourself, you can step out there. And the back porches either face the neighbors to the north and the south, or they face the street where you could come out and watch the dog walkers go by. This is one of the bedrooms upstairs in one of our larger units. It's a 4-bedroom unit, so it has an aging in place ground floor bedroom and full bath on the first floor. But upstairs, it has a 3/4 bathroom and 3 more bedrooms. And these bedrooms are my favorite because they look out onto the courtyard and the other buildings. So it's a beautiful view. You can have blinds for privacy, but if this was your office, for instance, it would be a really beautiful place to work. And you can see most of the other buildings. The upstairs bedroom windows face out onto the courtyard as well. So everybody can enjoy the big trees and nature. This is the 3rd bedroom upstairs in this unit. And as you can see, it doesn't have a dormer, so it doesn't have a high ceiling. This is the angle of the roof coming down. But this bedroom gets a skylight. And when we were considering skylights, my project manager, Emma, was a little bit worried that putting a hole in the roof is making an opportunity for leaking. But our architects and builders said that skylights can be completely safe, but it's best if we didn't put operable ones. Skylights that you can open are more expensive, and also that makes more opportunities for malfunctions or leaking. So our skylights are just to bring in light and beauty into the rooms. Of our 9 units, 6 are already sold and 3 are still available. The 3 available units are this one here, the biggest unit. That's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath unit that we were just in looking out the bedroom windows. The middle unit of this building is also a 4-bedroom unit that's available. And the end unit that we started in is a 2-bedroom unit. Those 3 are still for sale. And the rest are filled with community members that are already here picking out their door colors and imagining how they're going to fix up their place. The large units will cost in the middle 900,000s. The one on the end is a little bit more because it has more sunlight and windows. The one in the middle a little bit less. The 2-bedroom unit on the end will be approximately $650,000. We're trying to sell as many units as possible in private sales before the building is done. Once the building is completely done, my LLC will sell all 9 units to 9 people who will buy them with their own mortgage, and then the LLC will dissolve and the homeowners association will start. And we have 9 places on the board. We'll all be on the board of the homeowners association and we'll manage it like condominiums. How do we get new people? Well, we use word of mouth. We put up our street sign, and when someone is interested, the first step is they have a Zoom meeting with me and Emma, my project manager, where we talk about prices, we talk about parking, we talk about homeowners association, we talk about floor plans, and the family decides if they think it's right for them. If it is, the next step is a site tour, and I bring them here and I show them everything and show them the grounds and the native garden and answer any questions they have. If they continue to be interested and we like them, then we invite them to community events so they can come to our meetings, see how we conduct business. They can meet all the people in the community, see if they think it's a good fit. And all the people in the community can meet the new interested prospective buyer and decide if they are someone we want to invite to join us at Crowwoods. This is our common house, and it's tucked in the corner of the property. This part of the common house is the kitchenette. This is where we will have dinner together twice a week. Most co-housing communities put an actual commercial kitchen in their common house, but we decided against it. I asked some of the people in my community, and they decided that if they were cooking for 12 or 15 people, they'd rather cook in their own kitchen. So this kitchen will have all of the dishes and a dishwasher and a coffee maker and a fridge, but we will wheel the meals here on a cart. There will be a large wooden table here that has about 12 chairs around it that is here all the time that we can eat. And then we'll put up card tables and chairs for as many people as we want. We can have up to 24 people here for a meal. We'll probably have shelves with books and toys. And then the best part of the common house is that it looks out on our Pacific Northwest native garden. When I bought this land, this was all 10 feet high blackberry mess. And I probably gardened here twice a week for 3 years, cutting out all the blackberries. My daughter and I dug out all the roots. Then we found the holly bushes and got rid of them. Ivy was crawling up these trees. We dug out the ivy and the laurel. And then I got these trees, or orphan trees that were given to me by friends who had an extra cedar tree they didn't need or a baby Doug fir. And I planted them all in this corner nursery. When our landscaping is ready, we will move a lot of these trees to different places around the lot. And this whole wall is windows and opens up to our deck. We have a large deck here. So if another pandemic comes, we can open up all the windows. We can still eat here together 365 days a year, even in a pandemic. This room is a storage room for our community. It's tacked on the back of the common house. We will keep all of our gardening supplies in here. I have 2 kayaks which we can share, which will live in here. Anyone that bicycle commutes can lock their bike in here. Camping gear that the community shares will live in here, so it's a nice, secure spot to store things. This is my favorite part of the property that was completely under the blackberries, and now it's a beautiful Pacific Northwest native forest with Doug fir trees and lady ferns and a hemlock tree that was somebody's Christmas tree in a pot, and sword ferns, vine maples, and I have nurtured this and weeded it for years, and we'll walk on through to the courtyard. This is the courtyard, and these trees are why I bought this land. I never dreamt that building urban co-housing, I would be able to be surrounded by a dozen humongous trees. So in this area, you can see the open courtyard where everybody's windows and doors look out on. We will have paths through here. We will have a fountain. We will have a fragrance garden with things like jasmine and lilac that smell really good. In this nook over here, we will have a hot tub that we all share. And out here in the open area where there's no canopy above us, we will have a fire pit with a whole bunch of chairs. We can come out and sit by the fire. So this whole land is to be shared by all 9 households. So when you buy a unit here, you may be getting a small 2-bedroom condo, but you're also getting a ½ acre of beautiful nature and amenities. This is my unit, and it's special. The architects really helped me design a forever home for myself. And I made it wheelchair accessible because I may be around in 30 years and I may be using a wheelchair. I made it have a cathedral ceiling in the whole room. So, because light and airiness means everything to me, so it feels big and open, and I didn't need as many rooms upstairs. So my kitchen, living, dining is pretty much the same as everyone else's. My bedroom is off through here. It's pretty much the same as the other bedrooms. It has a view to the neighbors, full closet. But what's different about mine is now there's a back hall. This is where my side-by-side laundry will be, so it's easy to get to. This will be a linen closet. This is my bathroom, which will have an ADA accessible shower, all the turning radiuses that you need, plus a tub for soaking. And this is a bonus room I call the den, and I will keep my piano in here. And that's kind of neat because if anyone in the community has a kid that wants piano lessons, they can come have them here on my piano. And I'll put my desk in here, so when I'm sitting and paying bills, I'll have a beautiful view of the courtyard. My upstairs has a guest room and a full bath and a sitting room, which I will use as a sewing room. I didn't need a lot of extra room up there, but if I have a caregiver in the future, my caregiver will have a bedroom, a bathroom, and a sitting room. In the meantime, my younger daughter, who didn't want to buy into the community, will be living half-time in Seattle, and she's determined that that will be her guest room. She calls it the attic.